Well, hi, and officially welcome to this getting started, this deep dive with B1G1. Let me stop the share. There we go. So you can see where I am. Whoops, a daisy. Let me do that again. There we go. So you can see here I am. I'm actually at home at B1G1, at home here in Singapore. And you can also see Florencia right there on the web event window. So we have got people from joining us all around the world, and just so thrilled that you are here. Thank you very much for starting your morning with us. Here in Singapore, it's what, 6:20? Oh my goodness, PM that is. So we've had a good day, and so I promise you, your day will be good as well. Tell you what, let's do this as we welcome you to this deep dive. Let's find out a little thing about you, or some little things about you. I'm just going to share my screen again. Oh, French, did you want to say hello whilst I'm doing that?
Hi everybody. I
Yeah.
recognize a lot of your names, probably because I was reaching out to you guys. And welcome to the B1G1 onboarding call. It's a pleasure to meet you personally. So feel free to type into the chat if you have any questions at all in the meantime, as Paul shares his screen. Hi Claire.
And
Hi, good
you can
morning.
just tip your thing so we can see different times around it. There we go. French is there in the B1G1 office. You look at that. I think it was yesterday that we crossed 167 million giving impact. So yeah, huge things happening. So Florencia, thank you. We'll come back to you in just a minute. But now we want you, that is to say you joining us, to do something. That is, we want you to find the chat button, which is probably down the bottom of your screen, depending on how you are joining us. And what we're going to do is, or what I'm going to do, hopefully, let's see if this works. I hope it does. Let's see. I am going to ask you an interesting question by way of this. So there you are. You are somewhere in that little globe right there. And what we want to know is, where are you? So jump up on the chat. Let us know where you are. And don't just say England. Say like wherever it is in England. Jump up on the chat little button there. And then let us know that we're coming in loud and clear. Go ahead. So thank you for all of that. So let's do this. Let's get started. And what we're going to do when we get started is remind you of a couple of things. Notably, you saw this, I think most of you saw this, all this thing about ikigai. So that's the Japanese way. There you go. The Japanese way of getting on purpose. And of course, in B1G1, just as a reminder before we get to hear Florencia, then tonight we're going to go through, or today, your time, we're going to go through these three things. Look at what we mean by impact. How 100% of your giving goes where you want to make it go. And we're going to look at how you do that. We're going to look at this second one on the left-hand side. Very, very important thing. This thing about how we link, or how you link B1G1 to all of the great things that you do. The other term we use for linking is embedding your giving into what you do. And then, importantly, we're going to show you some really cool ideas in terms of connection, not just connection to you and your team, we are going to talk about that, but also connection to your customers and prospects, and indeed our world as well. So, and by way of bringing that together, and also just giving you, before we dive deep into here are the keys you press and everything else, what I wanted to do just quickly is to just step back a little way and give you an interesting perspective. Right where Florencia was sitting right now, actually to the right, I think right now, we have a board table right there in Singapore, and it is where we as a team get together, and every day. And let's see, I think it was about 4 or 5 months ago, we were sitting around that table, and we had a new team member joining us, and we wanted to make sure that everybody was on the same page. And so we collectively said, well, what are some of the things that we say about B1G1? And by the way, there's an interesting little thing on this, so stay tuned. And some of these things you already know, so let's just cover them. You can match your giving to things that your customers love. That's very important to understand that, and we're going to show you how to do that. You can choose from, I think it's 627, it may have expanded, stunning high impact projects. We're going to have a look at all of those, including some new ones. I think we've got some stuff coming up with bees and all of those sorts of things as well. So we're going to have a look at that. This is, by the way, how we used to talk to people about B1G1. As you know, you can give from just 1 cent, which is amazing. You also know that 100% of your giving goes where you want it to go. And you also know that we make up the bank charges as well, thanks to your membership fees and so on. And It's never about how much you give. It's always about the impact you create. So in B1G1, you'll never hear people say a percentage of our revenue goes here, or nothing like that. It's always, when this happens, this is what happened. And then these are things that we were talking about around the table. You can see every single impact you create through geocoding. And again, Florencia is going to be showing you that. And then the seventh thing that we said as a team was, the beautiful thing is that you're always in control. And then one of our team members, who actually is probably sitting right opposite Florencia right now, that is to say Sharon, Sharon took that and she thought, well, okay, but I wonder what would happen if I called our members and asked them how they talk about B1G1. And this gives you the sort of big picture view. So Sharon did that and she created a word cloud. And this is the word that came out. People said, B1G1 transforms our business. And then Sharon said, well, tell us more about that. And the word they used was this: it shifts the spirit of our business. So whilst you might think that tonight is about all the how-to, or today is about the how-to, which it is, to do all of those things, the fundamental thing that happens when you do this, but the trick is when you do this, it really shifts the spirit. So, Florencia, tonight we're really all about doing that. So, what if there we go. Transforms is where we're going, and Florencia is going to lead that transformation tonight. Florencia, it's great to see you. I haven't seen you forever since we were
Paul has been traveling.
Tour, but yeah, there we go. So, why don't you say your highs and share your screen as well?
Yes, for sure. Well, hello again, everybody, for those new joiners onto the call itself. My name is Florencia, and I'm the Member Engagement Manager here at B1G1. It's a pleasure to meet you. So just picking off from where Paul left off about transformation. Now, it's quite exciting because it's so easy to transform your business simply by embedding giving moments into so many different aspects of them. And I think when you think really hard into it, you'll find that there are lots of different opportunities to do so. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to share my screen so you can see this. Now, this is actually Paul's account, and I tend to use this to demonstrate a lot of things. So I put in a lot of things in there, so you can ignore some of them. But essentially, this is the first page you're going to see when you log into your B1G1 account. And if you haven't done that, please do so today, and immediately just start playing around with it and start doing some givings, because that's where you're going to be really inspired and be really pleased at all the kind of things that you can do with it. So the first thing we're going to do is create giving stories. Now, how do you create giving stories? It's very simple, but the first thing is to identify a possible customer touch point that you can have. So it could be for every single call booking that I get, for every new referral, or every great review that I receive. I would like to link that to a project. So I can do that very easily. I'll just show you how to do this as an example. So when we, let's say as a business, when we complete a project, right? So a very, very simple one. And I just click on next. I can even upload a picture that is relevant. So for me, maybe that's a happy face because I'm happy that I completed my project. But you can put whichever that makes most sense to you. It could be the product or even the brand logo. So I click on step 3, and there we go. Can you imagine how fast this is? It's so quick that we're on step 3 already. So this is where you're going to be choosing the project that you'd like to give to. And we have many, many different filters over here. So you can filter by category. As you can see, there's education, environment, food, health, even by, let's say, country, if you'd like to, or even a sustainable development goal. So this is something that's really important because it really builds the framework behind what we do and what kind of impact we're really creating outside of our work. So I attended the Global Compact Network just a couple of weeks ago when Paul and Masami were in Impact in Perth. And it was really quite amazing to see that when businesses align themselves to specific sustainable development goals, you're able to then track and see what kind of impact you actually have just by doing these kinds of givings. So let's just say I would like to give to a project in education, and I click on search. And there we go. So you can see it pops up right over here, 186 different projects that have to do with education. And I can simply pick one that I really think resonates with me. And this particular one has always been a popular one of mine because it's e-learning and it's for a rural village in India. It's really about helping the future, the children of the future to really be able to have the skills needed for them to be able to make a living in future. So this is a project that I like. I will select this one and I can choose, hey, for every single time I complete a project, I would like to give, say, e-learning access to a child for a week or maybe a month. I can afford a month. So I would just choose that and I click on next. Start giving now. So there we go. You have this saved onto your B1G1 account, and every single time you log in, it's going to be there, and that is your first giving story. And you can create as many of these as you like. As I said, you can have one for every completed project, for one for every new referral, or whatever that may be. The sky's the limit. You just need to be able to identify these moments that you can really connect deeper with your clients. And imagine every single time you complete a project for your client and you've done that giving. So I can say this week I have done 10 projects. I've completed 10 projects. I'm proud of myself. I add this to the cart. I click on it over here. Oh, there we go. I think I could change that quantity earlier. So, and that's it. So all I need to do then is just click on proceed to pay. It brings me to a PayPal page. I'll show you what that looks like in a moment. Just let it run. There you go. It brings you to a PayPal page. You can, and it's fine if you don't have a PayPal account. You can always pay with credit or debit card. So it's a lot easier. You don't have to set up a PayPal account if you don't have one. Great. And now I'll just click back into here. Oops, there we go. So once I've actually started doing my givings, you'll see that this is automatically updated live. So every single one of my givings, once they go through, they'll be reflected here. And you can even embed this onto your website so that your clients understand what you are part of and that your business is not just, a business that does business, but you're a giving business. And they can see that in all of the little things that you do. So of course, it's up to you.
We might show some examples of
yes,
lights later
I was
on.
about to. There we go. Yeah. So our members create beautiful pages like the ones like the one over here that you can see. They call it Business for Good. You can call it giving. You can call it impact. You can call it anything as long as it's not charity or donate, because that is not what B1G1 is about. We give to impacts. We give to specific projects, and not to simply say charity. So we really want to
just to clarify that for everybody listening, one of the things that we want to do is to make everything relevant. And one of the things that we found is that when we use the word charity or donate, what it does, turns out that about 60% of people, depending on the country, 60 to 70% of people have that word charity or donate just brings up negative feelings for them. Because they've all had, bad experiences with those things. And so that's one of the reasons why we strongly suggest that you don't use those words. And of course, Florencia and the team back there are going to help you sculpt all these things, as you'll see later on. So thanks, Florencia. Good. I can see they've got some giving stories down the bottom there.
That's correct. So that's where I wanted to show you that you can put any picture that you would like, and this is where you can embed your giving story in. So it's a very simple matter of simply say embed. I will copy the code and then I paste it onto the back end. So if you use WordPress or Squarespace or whatever that might be, there is always a place where you can, a module probably, that you can paste that code in, and you automatically see something like this. It's translated into a widget. So every giving that you do is reflected on here live. So I'm going to head back over here. Yeah, I'll be showing you lots more of these later, so not to worry. And
jump
once
up on the chat if you want to slow down or whatever, just jump up on that chat. Keep it.
Yes, please do. Please do. Sometimes I do ramble, so please tell me if I'm going a little bit too fast.
You don't ramble, you're just amazing.
Thank you, Paul. All right, so now we're going to go on to the next tab, which is the Connect tab. So this is pretty exciting because this is the tab where you'll see all the resources for you to be able to communicate connection. And that's where you see widgets that really help you to see what kind of impacts you're creating. So you can see that over here, we've provided 14 days of shelter to orphan children in Nepal.
We should be clear, by the way, this is on your account. This is actually my account, one of my accounts in B1G1. And of course, you're not seeing that on your account right now. then you're not seeing these widgets. That's because you may not have given yet. So that only turns up when you give. So that's a good incentive, by the way, to get up there and give. So everything you're seeing here right now would be on your account as an example. This is just my account as an example.
That's right. That's absolutely right. So every single one of these widgets are automated. Once you started giving, it triggers off everything else from here. And you can see as well, we have the SDG widget, because I mentioned earlier that this is a really, really important tool to really be able to track where your impacts are going. And it's one thing, it's great that now you know, okay, we provided 9,000 days of access to personal hygiene, but what does that translate to? And that's where you can really see, does it go into gender equality, reduce inequalities, even poverty? So even one project in B1G1 can have multiple implications onto many different sustainable development goals. So this is a great way for you to be able to see where your greatest impact is in real life problems. So I love it. You can embed them individually. If you have so many of them and you don't want to embed every single one of them, just the relevant ones, you just click onto this and it's copied to the clipboard. Same thing, paste it onto your back end and you'll have a beautiful widget. And I'll show you actually a one live. There we go. So this is one of our members as well. This is his widget counter. He's actually updated this. This actually scrolls, by the way. It's just that because I've opened this for a while now, it doesn't scroll anymore, but it does scroll. So it's a gorgeous widget, very interactive. And moving downwards as well, as you can see, this is the B1G1 community widget, which means all of the B1G1 businesses around the world have all of their impacts combined, and it's all totaled up into this widget over here. This is also a live tracker. So it's very exciting. Imagine if we could celebrate passing a 1 million mark together as a community. That's always something that we love to share and shout out. So probably shortly, hopefully after Christmas, we'll be able to hit maybe another 3 million more.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll be able to do that. And further down below is where you'll see a widget, the map widget, which helps you to see where your impacts are going. So you have the what, you have the what kind of sustainable development goals, and now you have the where. So this is a gorgeous one as well that a lot of our members love to put on, because we are a global giving movement, and therefore being able to give to multiple projects around the world, it's very, very important. And we even have further widgets down below as well.
Francia, let me just add on that.
Go, please do. Add on.
No, let me just add on that, because we'll show you, obviously, this you can just embed in your site, and you can understand one of the reasons why when people first come to B1G1, sometimes they're locked into the way in which normally it's done, and that is like ABC company proudly supports, XYZ charity. If that was the case, nothing wrong with that, but if that was the case on B1G1, then you'd only see one line on your map. And one of the things we want you to do is to broaden that. So, for example, that's why we see companies, and we'll talk more about this later on, where companies are saying things like, okay, or B1G1 members, here it's December, the projects, we'll make this environmental month. And then all of the projects they're choosing that month from environmental projects. Next month, it might be education. The month after that, it could be something else. And in this way, you also avoid an interesting thing, which is called charity fatigue. But more importantly, when you do this, you can see that it increases dramatically the presence that you have in terms of the how your clients are seeing you. So it's a really important thing. And the other thing you can do, for instance, just scroll down the bottom, where you were before, up on the normal widget, the normal one right there. Yeah. Okay, and by the way, you might not like the blue color, in which case there's a little customer. There you go, a little customized button there. So you can, you can change the color, you can change the size, you can change the font, you can do all of those sorts of things and customize it. And by the way, this is very easy to do. So you don't really need, your web developer and all of that kind of stuff to do things. It's already there. And importantly, it's tracking everything in real time for you. Sorry, Francia, go.
Just hit save, get the embed code, paste it on. As Paul said, it's very, very straightforward. So what I wanted to bring your attention to at the bottom was this particularly very exciting widget. As you can
I don't think anybody knew about this. This is a big surprise.
Yes. So this is actually your leveraged impacts. Now, what that actually means is you can think about it as your sphere of influence, your giving influence. So every single time you refer someone to B1G1, or when you share about the movement because it has done wonders for you, or because you simply because you love it, and when any business joins, all of their impacts that they create would be tracked under your leveraged impacts. Now, look at how powerful this actually is, because you can see that even Paul himself has created quite a stunning number of 1.7 million impacts, right? But imagine, because of how much Paul shares about the B1G1 movement, he's able to see more lives impact, 44.8 million impact. And that is quite an extraordinary number, because you're able to then see that this is what happens when you just talk about it. It's not just simply getting people to join the movement, but you are impacting other people's lives around the world that you might not have been able to reach alone. So it's really so much about the power of small, isn't it? That we are able to all come together and be able to create impacts together. Yeah.
And Shane is asking, Florencia, how we track that. And the answer to that, Shane, is that yes, you will have, and Florencia will show you this later on, you already have a little code. You just simply share that code with people and it automatically gets linked back. There's other ways you can do that, and there's enhanced ways that you can do that. But yes, it's all tracked for you. There you go.
That's right. So there we go. Shane, just to answer your question, every single one of you will have your own unique referral code. It's already on your account itself. It's unique only to you. So whenever you share this particular code with anyone, some of our members create a little beautiful one, a little thing over here, which is adorable, and that's where they talk about it. So businesses, B1G1 house businesses like ours give back in powerful ways, and then you talk a little bit about it, and every single time that they used this unique referral code, your businesses are automatically linked. So it's automatic, you don't have to do anything, and it just goes into the system. So you both also will get $11 worth of giving credits. This is a little bit outdated, but not to worry. So as you can see over here, it will be $11 into both of your accounts, just to simply say thank you, and also to kickstart their giving.
It's a cool thing.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? And you can share this on your website, or you can even send it out as an email. So it's all in here already. Just simply put in your name, and there we go. Oh, sorry, because they recognize that I already have an account here, so that's why I can't send that. But yeah, so it's a pretty smart system. And
whilst we're there, Florencia, should we just quickly, whilst we're there, that's on the Connect tab where we say invite, and you will notice as well, and this is something we'd love you to do, and we're going to show you this. We're going to show you this later on, the impact of this at least, and that is where you can invite your team members. We strongly suggest you do that. And of course, they can have their own account, which comes from their pocket.
That's right.
You know? And again, that gets linked in. And so to you, so you can see that you can create these beautiful little things. Well, you'll see more about it later. So anyway, it's a really cool thing to do. All right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not at all, not at all. Paul really helps me to remember I need to share about certain things that I normally might miss. Because but Paul is amazing, because Paul loves and loves B1G1 so much. So he has great insight. So this is a great opportunity for me as well to learn more. So yeah, that's what it's about. It is true. This is where we were earlier about the leverage impacts. I hope that kind of clarifies. And I think I saw on the chat earlier something about, was it the campaign? Do
you want to say that now?
Right.
I'd sooner we do that later if we can. Is that all right?
Sure. Okay. That's no problem at all. So I'll just scroll all the way up and let's continue. So now we're talking about creating the web page for communicating your giving. And aside from just having words and widgets, of course, you would definitely need some pictures to get that message across as well. Very beautiful one. As you can see from here, this is a really lovely scrolling carousel of images, and they got all of these images from the exact same B1G1 account that you have. So you'll see that in your useful pictures folder over here. Now, these are not stock images. These are not images just off the internet that we pulled, but these are real images sent from the worthy causes in those local communities. So feel free to use them as the B1G1 business for good, you do have license to use the branding that you'll see at the bottom as well as all of the images that we have for you. So you can even customize a brochure to have your giving story and even your impacts. If you'd like to have this sent to your clients or as a newsletter or even a blog post or whatever that might be, feel free to do so. Yeah, and once you have done that, that's where you have your website completed, and that's a beautiful one. I'm sure you guys are going to send that across to me because I love to have a look and really just be able to keep that archive of beautiful pages that we can share with other members. So that's a great hint. And then
we might actually, Florencia, we might actually, when we are saying thank you to people, we might actually send some links of our favorite pages so that you've got, you know, like great examples to look at. Yeah,
absolutely. I will definitely do that. So if you like any pages over here, you can feel free to let me know if specific ones if you'd like to, but otherwise I'll send most of them across so I don't overload you as well. Yes, so you'll be receiving that email shortly. Yeah, awesome. So now that we've actually done the giving and we have the webpage up, right, let's just assume that, we can head over onto the gratitude certificates. Actually, we have something quite exciting.
Oh, yes. What you're doing, if you're not, pay attention here now. This is brilliant.
This is really, really cool. So we just launched this, I think it was probably last night or probably today.
It was last night.
It was last night, yeah? So this is normally what you'll see if you already created some templates. But normally if you don't see anything, you will be brought to this page that says Get Started Now. So if any of you have your accounts open, you'll see Get Started Now. And you just click onto that to create your first new print certificate or email certificate, whatever that might be. So I'm going to show you the very exciting new feature we have. So I click into Print New Certificate and there you go. Can you guys spot a very interesting addition to your normal certificates? So I'm just going to tell you anyway. It's the Season's Greetings, Merry Christmas templates that we have for you, except that this time it's not just about saying thank you to your clients or just, you know, for them to be part of the regular activities that you do givings to, but for this season, you can see that this is really cool. For every single time.
And what Florencia is, by the way, going to be showing you here applies to any template you create.
Any template
the ability to edit this. But we have already had amazing feedback today from people using these ones here, and you'll see why. So two things here. One, how you edit them, but then the special thing that goes on with this particular one or with these Christmas ones. You're going to love this.
That's absolutely right. So first of all, you can customize everything that you like to say over here, change the name, even put in your company logo, whatever that might be. But for this Christmas, you still do have time to actually send this out, because what happens is when one person, or rather when the person who receives this scans this QR code that you see over here, let me just close this. When they scan this QR code over here, there is a giving that happens coming out from B1G1's pocket, because we want to celebrate the Christmas season with you and for you to be able to share givings around the world with other people, and just have that joy of giving together with your family and your friends, your clients. So please do send these out. We just had a member who told us they are sending out 20,000 of these certificates. I'm not kidding. So we were just like, oh wow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm not kidding you. So yeah, he emailed Masami, so we're quite stunned. So please do send this out and encourage everyone to scan this, and we will be doing the giving on our part. Yeah, so very,
and of course
simple.
The QR code relates to the giving that it talks about on that card. So if you want different giving, then you would have a different card. Yeah.
That's correct. That's absolutely right.
Awesome.
So please do have a look into this folder, and let me just head back. Oh, I think there's another chat poll.
Yeah, it is. Someone was asking. I don't know the answer to this, but I think the answer is yes. Can we send? I think it's Claire asking rather. Can we send them via Messenger? And I imagine you can, because you can create them as a PDF and
yes,
them directly on Messenger. So
that's correct.
That would be yes.
Yes, that's exactly right. So you can actually personally send this across in Messenger simply by
and
just.
Charlie has a question, Florencia, about personalizing the name. Now that may happen in the email version, yeah?
So Charlie, if you'd like to send this out as a bulk for 1,600 people, you can actually upload this as a CSV file with the first name and the email address, and it will automatically send it out for you to every single person respectively. So it's very, very simple as well. And the QR code can be embedded as an image.
Yep.
Copied it. Okay. What I'm going to show next, just one more thing, because I noticed that on the chat earlier, is a very exciting way for you to have your clients be involved in giving and them personally. So what we do have is what we call campaigns, and I think that answers a question that was asked earlier. How can your clients be?
No, Claire asked this question. Yeah.
Claire, yes.
But I'm going to give you, I'm going to give you a little thing about this after Florencia shows you how to do it. So go for it.
Paul has great insight, so I don't know what that is, but yes, let me just show you how this is done. So you can click onto Impact again. So Impact is where you'll be doing all of your givings, choosing projects, creating giving stories, and setting this up. And you head over to Campaigns. So campaigns are what we call, just for a period of time that you're going to involve that. Oh, hi, Masami.
Hello.
Hi, okay, everyone, this is Masami. I'm sure you've all met her. So Masami's at home now, and I'm just going to continue on where we were on campaigns. So as you can see here, when you're on this page, you'll probably see it more blank because that's the first time that you're logging in, and you can customize everything that you like to say. So if your theme of this month would be, let's say, lighting, for instance, you could name it "Light Up Their Life," and light up life with solar, with give access to a solar lantern and things like that. And you can simply choose the projects that you like to give to. So for instance, I would like to say, okay, I would say, let's just try solar again. I search, I scroll down, and I can see even more projects on solar energy that I would like to give to. So I can say I would like this project as well, and you can see it pops up right over here. So you can add on as many as you like, but probably not add too many, because there can be, what we call the paradox of choice, and people get overwhelmed when there are too many choices.
I'm going to have a little bit to say about this one.
Yeah, so Paul definitely has his view on this, and I do encourage not to have too many of these on, but really just have a very beautiful campaign with a very specific goal in mind, and people are able to give. So I have a example of what that looks like live.
This is Frank's going to show you how it looks on your website.
Yes, yeah, that's right. So once you've saved this, let's say, now I have 3 of them, I would say save, I copy the code, there we go, copy code, and then I paste it on. So this is what it would look like live. Oh, let me just click on back, there we go. So this is actually a new campaign set up by one of our members, so you can see there's no givings yet because it's quite new. And what you can do here is when every single person clicks on Give Now, this will pop up, and when they do the givings by themselves, it will also be reflected under your leveraged giving impacts. Yeah, so this way it really, really shows you your sphere of influence, every bit of effort that you put into spreading the word about giving. That's where we really want you to be able to recognize it yourself, and we have that all in the widget that we saw earlier under the bottom at the leverage giving impacts. But Paul, you had some interesting insights about this, yes?
Oh no. Well, I'll get to them. I'll get to them later. You keep going. It's really cool. Thank you for the great job.
No worries. No, it is my pleasure. So normally this is actually where I would have everyone.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, because there's quite a fair bit already. You have to think about the customer touch points. You have to think about your projects, and as well as what are you going to convey on your website, as well as what is your personality when you're writing those gratitude certificates, because you can customize them. Feel free to put in your own flow as well. So there's quite a bit of things for you to work on right away, and that's usually where I'll leave it on. We have more things coming up, so do stay tuned with all of the updates. We do have a Facebook group. If you're not part of it, please join. I will send that link across on the chat as well, so you can immediately request to join the group if you haven't done so. So Paul, would you like to take over?
Sure, yes. No, thank you. There needs to be a clap thing on Zoom, and I'm amazed at how you do that with such clarity and speed as well. I know it sounds, and if I was listening to that the first time, I would go, "Oh my God, there's
sorry."
and yes, there is so much you can do, but the trick is to do it. And one of the things that Florencia didn't show you, I'll show you in a minute, which is kind of really, really easy way, because you don't have to set up giving stories. You can just give randomly.
That's right.
and so on. And it's really, really easy. A lot of people compare it to shopping. Oh, but French is doing it right here. So where you go there is you go to view all projects. Let's scroll down, Florencia, to see what, and then, you know, you just pick a project. Let's do the whatever one you like. It doesn't matter. That's a good one right there. Yeah, and then you simply choose it. You like it, then you just go add to the cart, and as simple as that. And the cart gets updated, and there you see it. And then you can just add to the giving in there. So if someone's having a birthday or something like that, you can simply do it. Someone on the Impact Tour, by the way, said they love this so much. They said what they do is every month they know how much they're going to give, and then they select different projects every month. And the woman said, it's just like shopping online. You know, just choose this one, choose this one. And then she said, and just like when I'm shopping online, I sometimes spend too much, but in this case, I give too much, and that's okay. So, yeah. Okay, Florencia, thank you very much for being here. Let's welcome Masami. Masami, this is like a special bonus to everybody here. Thanks, Florencia. So Masami, do you want to unmute yourself and say hello and stuff like that?
Yes, hello everyone. Yeah, I hope the sound is okay because I'm not
the sound's good.
I just decided to pop in because I knew the call was happening, and yeah, so it's great that you managed to come online and experience some of the real internal working of B1G1, and hearing that from Florencia probably is a really special thing. So yeah, I hope you got lots of ideas, and we are so looking forward to working with you from here, because this is just the beginning. And even if you are starting to implement just a simple thing first, and that's totally fine, because we are always continuously looking out for greater opportunities to connect with our members and partners, and hear about their thoughts, and seeing how all the members also interact as well. So you don't need to worry about doing everything, but it's just if you can get started with simple giving, and you can share your creative ideas as you go.
Yeah, Masami, that's a great point. When Florencia was showing you just a moment ago, in fact, let me just share my screen so you can see it. Well, yeah, let me just do that. Oh, actually, no, I won't share my screen for now. But so let me come back here for a sec. So when you remember when Florencia was just showing you the project list, one of the really fun things to do is just to be able to say, well, okay, I've got $10, and just find what you can do with $10, and just go, picking different projects. It's a great way to get to know the projects, and most importantly, what we love is when people do it for the first time, the emails that we get say, wow, that feels really good. And Shane just asked the questions actually about the automatic giving. And yes, you can do that. We're even making it simpler in just a little while with some stuff happening on the APIs. But one of the things that's interesting, Shane, is most people, when it was running the way it was before, it's going to be new stuff on that. Most people actually unhooked the automatic. And the reason they unhooked the automatic is because they liked the feeling of being able to choose. So anyway, but the choice is going to be there for you. Masami, I was going to show a couple more things. Is it okay if I do that, or did you want to make some observation? Okay. Well, let me make the observation that I wanted to make about that campaign feature, or about and I forget who it was. I think Charlie asked the question earlier on, can we get our clients to give, and so on. The answer to that question is, as you just saw, you absolutely can. However, one of the things I want to caution you on is doing that early in your relationship here. Bear in mind that the thing that you really want to get across when you're doing your giving is you want to be able to express your gratitude to the people who you're doing business with. Now, one of the things that's happened is when people do it, what I would call too quickly, then the clients, their head goes, oh, another charity site, and then all sorts of things start to happen as, oh, why aren't you choosing my charity, and da 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 da. So I would recommend that the thing that you do is you do it as if it wasn't there for a while. And then later on, so in other words, you're sending them gratitude certificates and you're saying, thank you for paying the rent. This is what happened, kind of thing as a result of that. And then maybe after, 6 or so months, you say, by the way, we've got this new thing. You can actually join us in doing this as well. And that's a much nicer way than doing it straight away, even though it's kind of compelling to try and do that. So hold off on that if you would. Let me show you another interesting little idea on that. In terms of choosing your giving, many times what you do, let's say, for example, you're a builder, then it might seem logical that what you want to do is you want to give to projects that involve shelter. And that's fine. I mean, it's really fine. But let me tell you about something that I hope you'll find interesting. And it concerns these things, glasses. Now imagine you were an optometrist or an optician. I can't remember which one it is, but anyway, the place where you go to get glasses, right? And so if you were someone who was one of those, and you were in B1G1, it might be logical for you to, when the client comes in, you might want to pick up their lenses or their glasses. You might want to say to them, give them a gratitude certificate, which basically says, thank you, or something like that. And then they open it up, and inside it says something like, we didn't tell you this when you came in the first time, but we thought you'd love to know that every time we do business together, something great happens. And specifically, just as a result of you joining us or you selecting glasses from us, 3 kids got the gift of sight. They got glasses as well. Now, you might think that's a logical thing to do, and it is. But what's interesting is the reaction, because it turns out that the unexpected is actually more powerful than the expected. So what actually happened was, we said to the optometrist, well, okay, go ahead, just do that in the first 2 weeks. But in the second weeks, that is to say, sorry, in the third and fourth weeks, do something different. And they said, well, why don't we choose water? So we said, okay, choose water. So if in that third and fourth week you went in, then and you got a gratitude certificate, it would say same thing as before. Then it would say, and we thought you'd love to know that 11 kids or whatever it was just got access to pure life-saving water. And then what happened was this: they checked the reaction in the first 2 weeks when they were doing the expected thing. What actually, I can see, Florencia, that Susie's here tonight as well, doing some cleaning there behind you in the office. That's really cool. Hi, Susie. So anyway, so what happened in weeks 3 and 4 was with the water. So the difference was this: in the first 2 weeks, there's people who got the gratitude certificate would go like this. Oh, that's really lovely. That's really lovely. In weeks 3 and 4, it was quite different. The reaction in weeks 3 and 4 was like, seriously? You're kidding me. Wow, that's amazing. Right? Because it was unexpected. So then the interesting question is, well, if that's the case, what do you think they did in weeks 5 and 6 and beyond that? And the answer to that is not that they just chose water or whatever. The answer to that is they use the magic of and. So from there on in, they were saying, when this happened, X kids got the gift of sight and whatever else they were doing there. The and is magical because people never see that. And I've got some examples of it here on gratitude certificates, but I think rather than show you the examples, you probably, excuse me, you probably get the idea. Masami, there were some other things that I was wanting to say, but I've just forgotten that seeing Susie cleaning so I know what I was going to say, some other things. You may remember Florencia talked with you about inviting your fellow business owners, but also inviting your team. And one of the reasons that you might want to do that is because of something I'm going to show you on your screens right now. And it's something that we would love you to download because people are going to have so much fun with this thing. And you download it either on the App Store or on Google Play. And it's called B1G1 Impact Now. And when you download it, this is what it looks like, or actually it looks a bit differently than this now because it's just being updated. But this is what happens. Now, with the B1G1 Impact Now, which, by the way, we released when we crossed 100 million giving impacts, And the idea of this was A, to celebrate that, and B, to give people the ability to actually give right there on their phones. So let me just show you what I mean by that, by showing you, there it is full screen right there. So here you can see it. Now have a look what happens, because the beautiful thing about this is when you create your account in B1G1, you actually get if you're an admin, you get the B1G1 main account, but you also get a personal account. If you're not an admin, then you just get a personal account, which means all the giving is coming from your pocket. So you click on Impact Now, have a look what happens, and in particular, hope your sound is up because you'll see something interesting. So let's have a look here. So we click on it, and there we see that's the main kind of business thing. So here we can put in some impacts directly. I'm putting in, I think, 64 impacts there. You can't see it too well. Now what happens? Watch. I press Add Impacts, and wow, there it was, just done. But what's interestingly, hopefully you heard that, Florencia. Did you hear that? Yeah, you did. Okay. But what's this one? Now we're going personal giving. Look, when I eat breakfast, I do this. When I complete a run, I do this. Let me just imagine I completed a run today, and let's say it was 3 kilometers, bang, same thing happening. So very, very powerful that you can actually now do this directly. Let me just exit that there. You can now do this directly on your phone. And we actually have people who do that directly on their phone with the customer present as well. But it's really great for team members. By the way, it's also great, guess what, if you have kids. Kids love this. And so, you know, your kids can get in here with their pocket money. They can choose their projects. Bear in mind, they'll also spend too much of their pocket money because they love this thing. So another little thing that's there for you in B1G1. Oh, look at this. I will get my boys to do this on their phones. This is fabulous for teenagers too. And by the way, Clara, it's also good for non-teenagers, right? This is a lovely, lovely thing. Masami, maybe you or Florencia would like to add some other things in here.
Oh, sorry. I was just
not.
typing into. No, I'm sorry. I was just typing into the chat to reply to Claire about the app that they can download.
Yeah.
But Masami, if you have any things to add, please go ahead. I will just reply to the chat.
Another thing is that the B1G1 is really like a journey, and the connection part is very important. So it's great that actually you joined B1G1 through an event because you experienced part of it there, seeing how the energy of the room was, and the people who were there at the event. So, but we are looking forward to sharing many more things like this. So it's really important that we reach out to you like when we have a exciting future updates where you can engage more with the giving community. So I hope that we have many great milestones to share together with you and be part of your milestone in 2019, because I'm sure you've got many great goals for 2019, and I hope that giving can add extra meaning to those successes you experience as a company, as a business, and as a team as well. So anytime, you need any help from us, we are always delighted to hear from you and working with you to do even more. So thank you again for being part of it.
Masami, thank you for that. That reminds me too that don't for 1 minute think, oh, this is the getting started call. That's it. It's all kind of because Florencia and the team, I mentioned during some of the conversations that we had before this, that the whole office lights up when you call. So it's very important to realize that you're not alone. Whenever you get up on your B1G1 screen, then the little chat box comes up, and then we want you to chat to us, or alternatively give us a call. Don't for 1 minute think that you have to figure this out for yourself. So whether it's about the gratitude certificates, how you embed those, all of those sorts of things, we are here to make sure that the giving really flows. But of course, that requires you to actually get in and start using it and going through it. The other thing a couple of things that I wanted to just mention, and I think I didn't show this when we were together. But there's a very interesting thing that's happening now, and something that you might want to think of. We talked about earlier on when we were framing this, we said that B1G1 members say now that it transforms their enterprise, that it shifts the spirit of their businesses. And one of the things that we're seeing now, in fact, we're seeing it a lot, is where business owners don't just set the normal kind of goals that you would think. Like as you're going into 2019, you're probably thinking, oh, this is our first quarter goal and all of those sorts of things. What B1G1 people who are really into it are doing, and it really is transforming, is they're actually setting giving goals as well. And so what I want to do just quickly is show you an example of that. This is a very interesting example. It's a lady who's been in B1G1 now for about 18 months. Her name is Sel, or Sue Ellen, but she goes by the name of Sel. And she has a young son. His name is Digger, and he's 11 years old. And interesting enough, Digger has a B1G1 business as well. It's called Your Secret Sauce. I won't go into what it does, but it's really cool for kids. And what happened just, let's say about 6 weeks ago, Sel created another company. She's in the HR space. So have a look at this. If I share my screen correctly, let me just see. Here we go. Have a look at this. I think you'll love it.
I'm really excited to share that What's Next PX is now officially members of B1G1, just like What's Next and Your Secret Sauce. We have joined now and just made our first giving impacts. So we have just then provided a business loan, provided bookkeeping skills, and also a business training program, all to women in Malawi. And that's because part of our vision at What's Next PX is to help 100 female entrepreneurs in developing countries to start a business and create a future for themselves, because I'm a big believer that entrepreneurship creates the opportunity for us to provide for our families and our communities, and there's nothing more important than those women in developing countries having that opportunity. Obviously, females in entrepreneurship is incredibly close to my heart, so I'm super excited that What's Next PX is B1G1, and we've got our goal of 100 women a year starting a business that are in developing countries. Yeah.
Very, very cool, isn't it? And so those are some of the things that by working together, we're going to be able to help you do. I think together is the crucial word. And Masami, I just took a look at my watch, and I think we're in a world record situation here, because one thing I forgot to mention just before I tell you about the
question that wasn't answered though.
Oh, well, just let me finish my sentence just for a second, and because one thing that now I've forgotten what I was going to say. Yes, what I was going to say was this. Not only do we want you to reach out to us via the chat or whatever other way you feel, but one of the things we do pretty much every month, I think it's about every 5 weeks, we have a thing called Connect Plus, which is 35 really fast-paced minutes where we look at all of the new things that are coming up in B1G1, new things that we're thinking of. It's a fascinating thing. It's probably one of the most popular things that we do in B1G1. So do read our emails. That's very important. And one of those emails is going to talk about the Connect Plus and get you on that. So Masami, you wanted to talk about the question that was there.
The last question was Claire asking whether the entire family can use the app on their own phones and then connect to the impact under the company. And the answer is yes, because each of family member can install Impact Now app, but they can either log in using your account, or if you want to invite your family members as like a team members of the company, like almost like family business, then you could actually invite them to have our own separate account. So the tracking can be done separately. If everybody uses your primary account, then under the personal giving section, they can do the giving from their phone, but everything will be listed together. So whether you or not you want to separate it. So that's a great idea. We weren't thinking about that, but I think again, like involving the family to be part of that would be great, because as we talked about, like having the family thinking in business matters, and involving your team members, family maybe, and spreading the spirit of giving that way may be a great way too. So we look forward to hearing about what happens there.
Yeah, and we actually look forward to hearing about your reaction to this. Do let us know. There's some great comments up on the chat. Thank you for that. And as Francia has mentioned, team at b1g1.com is a good place to do that. You'll see that up on the chat, and I must remember to save the chat whilst I'm there as well. Francia has given you the links to get the Impact Now app, and the Impact Now app is really cool. But you know what? What's really cool. It's just this other way of embedding giving and making giving part of the whole thing that you do, or as we would say, creating giving businesses. So, Masami, I'm about to say this is the world record.
Yeah, before we go, did you mention about the access to the branding and logo? Because it would be great.
We did. We did.
Oh, yeah. Embed up front.
Yeah, we did all of that. Yeah.
We look forward to seeing that.
Yeah, we did. And by the way, what we're also going to do is we're going to give you the enhanced recording as well. And that's where we zoom in so you can see things a little bit clearer. It takes us a while to do that, but you'll get that as well. So I want to say, just from my point of view, thank you so much for joining us. Not just joining us here. There was so many other things you could have been doing on a Thursday, but we're thrilled that you chose to share part of it with us. Hopefully, as we've shared some of these ideas very, very quickly, you get a sense of just how powerful this tool is to help you do incredible things, help you make differences in the world, but also to help you shift the spirit of your business. And talking of spirit, this is also a good time. Francia showed you those lovely Christmas things, did she not, on the gratitude certificate? So it's also a very good time for us to wish you a wonderful, wonderful holiday season. Happy Christmas. And we're looking forward to sharing a brilliant 2019 with you. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye.